Hi, Facebook.
Hey, hey.
How is everybody?
Hi.
We have something very cool to show you. Sam's been busy.
Is the music playing?
I assume we can't hear
Okay. If you can't hear the music, it'll be posted later.
it. And we're dust. What's up, guys? There's everybody.
Hey, hey.
Church, adjust your camera, please, or your position. There we go.
I forgot to move closer to the mic.
Good.
You're good.
All right.
Everyone thought you were hiding last week, like something bad was going to happen, or good. And nothing did. Yeah, exactly. It is episode 118 of Gather the Nerds. I am Cav. That's Nick.
What's up, guys?
Church is here.
Hey, guys.
Hannah's here.
Hi.
We have a lot to talk about. It's basically all about Marvel, so we're going to wait until the end to go there. We're just going to blast through the rest of the news.
Sounds good.
Because we got a lot of stuff to cover. We are going to talk about Captain Marvel at the end. So, spoiler alert
I haven't
now.
seen it yet.
Yes, he has.
You lie.
If you haven't seen it, you have to leave at the end of the podcast.
Exactly.
Because we're talking about it.
Yep, we are talking about that. We have also asked everybody to rank the Marvel movies, which started a very interesting conversation in the Facebook chat.
And unfortunately, I was so busy, I couldn't get to too much of
missed
it.
a lot of that.
Yeah.
I was looking back through because I was like, wait, are we doing this? I have to hurry and make my list. And I was like, oh, man, I missed this whole debate.
Yeah, it was this whole thing.
Yeah, I
so,
missed it too.
all right, so let's get into a few things. In all the Marvel news, DC had one minor thing come out, which is basically they are now looking at November to start production on the Flash movie. The movie we thought was dead is rumored to start in November, which puts it at a 2021 release year, which puts it in the same year as Matt Reeves' Batman and James Gunn's Suicide Squad. So that could be a big year for DC.
Especially because, are there any Marvel movies projected to come out around that time?
There's always a Marvel movie.
Yeah, at this point.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is.
Like, because that really helps DC when there's not a Marvel movie coming
I
out
think
right
they
around
plan
the
it
corner.
like that. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, what month are they releasing? Okay, 6
That's why they've
months
canceled
before
it,
then.
because every
Yeah.
time they're ready, there's a Marvel movie
Like,
coming
come
out.
on, Marvel.
Dang it.
Jeez.
Cancel.
Ah. So, yeah, so they're talking about
They've
that.
done that on more than one occasion, it seems.
I know.
On mic.
They've
So-
done that on more than one occasion.
Turn your mic on.
Hey, I just expect stuff to be ready by the time I get here.
Yeah, well.
we're not at that superstar level yet.
Anyway, they've done that on more than one occasion.
One more time.
Yeah. That's about to be the intro, I think.
They've done that on
More than one again.
Yeah, that absolutely.
Repeat.
On repeat. Yeah, so we've got that going on. In other news, we've got some, like I said, there's so much Marvel. Let's dig into sports real quick. Church,
Yeah.
is it a fair statement that we are probably the biggest football fans here?
I would think so. I would think so.
Okay.
Are you into football?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are you
definitely
ready
not.
for
I could
some
care
football?
less.
Yes, then it is confirmed.
I
Why
like the,
can't
I like the
yeah, you're
Mannings.
not.
Are you not plugged in or something here?
Yeah, we're fixing this here. Or just talk to it. What? Hit me.
Test.
One more time.
Test.
You're plugged in.
One more time.
Test.
Better. Got it.
All
All
right.
right.
Hey, we're still figuring this out, guys.
I want to. Yeah, 118 episodes
118
later,
episodes.
we'll get this at some
This
point.
is the perk of watching live TV. You get to see all
Exactly.
the mistakes.
The problem is that won't be edited out of the other one.
Nah.
Hi, Jess.
So, and Sam is joined too.
And hi, Sam.
Sam.
Hey, guys.
So, yeah,
Sam, amazing work, by the way.
Yeah, Sam has joined us. So
Fantastic
we're
work.
gonna hit this one more time.
Here you go, Sam.
Yeah,
I'm
love
going
it.
to start calling him Sam Logic.
Sam Logic, the boss Logic. I love it. So good. All right, so major trades happening. You want to talk about Antonio Brown? You talk about Odell Beckham Jr.
Let's go with OBJ.
That is a trade that I did not see coming.
It was rumored like 3 days before too.
Yeah.
It was rumored that the Browns made a big offer,
Yeah.
but it was players only.
Yeah.
Giants were not impressed. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
Players were tweeting, cryptic things
Very
like they
cryptic
always
things.
do.
Yes.
That they know something's about to happen. They can't say anything. So it fell apart. And then again, for a trade that was already talked about just 3 days earlier,
Yeah.
it seemed to come out of nowhere.
Because they got, what, a first and a third?
They got a first and a third, and then they got Jabril Peppers,
Yeah.
who apparently is embroiled in a murder investigation.
Okay, so they
that
got
I did not know
they
about
got a
until
first
this
and a
morning.
third.
So, yeah.
So you look at that trade and you're just like, oh, okay. So that, I mean, that's a haul for someone like that. Antonio Brown's like, I want to be the biggest whatever, and they get a third and a fifth
Yep.
for Antonio Brown.
Yep.
That tells you how much of a pain in the butt he was for the Steelers.
And additionally, he's like 30 years old too.
Yeah.
So
This has been, you've got Le'Veon Bell signed with the Jets. All these things. There's been so much happened in the last week. Like, we almost need just like a side sports.
this has been a massive free agent window, trade window.
It's
been bizarre.
This has been very bizarre. Even a lot of the people are like, I
cannot remember a time where in a 12-month span so many top-tier receivers have been moved.
Yeah, they're gone. Yeah.
So, Hannah, what's your thoughts?
I like the Mannings.
He likes. See, she likes the Mannings.
And I like that OU guy. I can't think of his
Baker?
name right now.
I like
yeah,
Turtles.
Baker. I like
So
him so
Mannings,
much I can't
Baker,
remember his name.
and Turtles.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you have it.
I'm
GTN
glad-
Sports.
The Browns, I'm glad the
takes.
Browns are getting someone that I assume is good.
Man, is
A Browns instant playoff
I mean,
contender.
instant playoff
Yeah.
contender.
So-
But their Super Bowl odds went 5-1 all of a sudden after
Yeah,
that.
they went from 22-1 to 14-1 to.
No,
something.
I'm wrong. 14-1.
Yeah,
I think
Jessica,
that's
Jessica
where-
says
where
yeah,
it
Raiders
evened out
dropped Jordy Nelson also, which was interesting because
Jordy.
they just re-signed him
Yeah,
and then they dropped him.
They extended him in December.
Something like that, yeah. And so
Blame it on Vegas, right? The Raiders moved.
they have not moved yet. They have signed a new deal. They are
I know some
done.
sports things.
Do they
Uh,
have a stadium this year?
Yes, they have signed what they are going to be at the Coliseum in Oakland.
Okay.
And they have a 1-year opt-out clause for next year. It sounds like an NFL
I
contract.
think they might use it.
Yeah, they might. But yeah, Jordy Nelson also low 30s, 30, 31 maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I'm trying to think who needs help in the tight end position. But I mean, just send him back to the Packers.
Well, he's a receiver.
Well,
Jordy?
depending on the. Is he a receiver? Is he? No,
Yeah,
is he,
he's a receiver.
I thought he was a tight end.
Nope.
Okay.
He's a receiver out of
thought
K-State.
I thought he was the one that started the whole tight end versus receiver in terms of when people get tagged. I thought that was Jordy that started that whole debate.
Maybe Jimmy Graham.
You were right. That's what I'm doing. I'm flipping that around. So
Yeah, I'd like to see him go back to the Packers.
let's go back to the Packers.
They could use the receiver, but they cut him in the first place. He didn't leave and go to Oakland.
Yeah.
They cut him.
So
But they also have no one who can catch outside of Devontae Adams. They have Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He was decent as a rookie. Equanimous St. Brown was decent as a rookie, but
I almost feel like you're making some of these names up.
no, I am not. I am not.
Optimus Prime was the quarterback.
Optimus Primus
Optimus Primus.
Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is a
OPJ.
Yep, OBJ. That's the thing. And of course, all of these people are making bajillions of dollars. And
You're not wrong. The
No.
receiver market's high.
yeah,
Not so much for running backs right now.
yeah, Le'Veon Bell. I mean, they thought he was going to light the world on fire with the Jets. He didn't, because the Jets were the only ones that wanted him.
I think, to be fair, he was probably the only one who thought he was going to be able to pull off that contract.
Yeah,
I mean,
even his agent probably not so much.
probably not.
Is he a Rosenhaus? I assume he's a Rosenhaus.
I don't think he is.
Is he not?
But I don't know. My agent game isn't
Yeah.
up to snuff as
Nice.
of late.
She's my agent.
What do you think about agents?
I'm
Of
the
S.H.I.E.L.D.?
best agent.
All right.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right?
In regards to
I'll
agents,
get you. I'll get you all the money.
All the monies. I love it.
I'm
Phil
gonna. I'll be
or
like the
Agent Smith?
Jerry Maguire.
Phil.
He was an agent, right?
Jerry Maguire was an agent.
Show me the money.
And he was actually based on Rosenhaus, wasn't
Rosenhaus or Boris? I don't remember. Either way.
he? Yeltsin?
Well, while we're on
Or
the
the
topic
cat.
of sports,
yeah,
and
something.
now we're talking about money.
Yeah.
Did you see the rule change for Major League Baseball this year?
Which one?
Well, they added several, but one that makes no sense is that the pitcher has to face 3 batters
Yeah.
prior to being able to be pulled out.
I thought that. I didn't think that they put. Is that done? Is that a done
That-
deal, or
that
is that
starts
going?
this
got
year.
passed?
Oh wow.
That goes into effect this season.
I knew they were doing the election thing for the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Which I think is cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
And they were changing a roster thing.
Yeah, they allowed more. The rosters can be deeper, which basically allow a certain percentage more of pitchers, like bullpen pitchers. I think it went to 28 or 26, something like that.
It's going to allow a lot
But-
more minor league call-ups and a lot more
Right.
minor leaguers to.
But the
pick up that
problem
contract now,
that
too.
I have with the pitching issue is that it's taking the strategy.
Everyone checks their phones now.
It's taking it's taking the strategy that they've been using that has been successful
Yeah.
for batter-based pitching, and they're throwing it out of the window. And it's basically going to, I mean, that could potentially decide an entire game.
Yeah.
I mean, there are World Series games that unfortunately probably would have gone a different way had that rule been in effect this year.
Yeah.
I mean, there are several Red Sox games in the World Series that would have gone differently had that been a rule.
Yeah, because a lot of times you
Yeah.
see, you bring in the
Yeah.
one-sided pitcher for one batter, and like, all right, I'm done, I'm out.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly. So you're enforcing the elimination of a strategy that's the whole point. I mean, it's a strategy.
That's going to eliminate some jobs as well
You would think.
it's true.
You would think.
for a guy.
You got to be able to pitch to both sides of the plate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just interesting
Can't
to me
read the
because it
screen
doesn't
when I
seem
have
like
this on.
anybody's really happy about it.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that the what is it? Is it this? It's not the CBA, is it?
Yeah, collective bargaining agreement.
Yeah, but the organization that runs it, the
Players Union.
Players Union. Thank you. They didn't even have anything to say about it. Like they didn't argue the points or anything. They just kind of blindly accepted it. So
Okay. Church is gone. He's disgusted at the CBA.
He got upset that we called him short.
Hold the sports conversation. He'll be back. All right.
Sports.
Sports ball championship trophies. All right, so let's get into some TV stuff while he's gone. So let's talk about the fact that everybody is on the Game of Thrones train right now, including Adidas, with some sweet Adidas Game of Thrones
I gotta
kicks.
see these. I gotta see these because the guys at the barbershop today were talking about Game of Thrones too.
They are
Saying that
awesome.
their specific favorite episode or show, part of it was the Red Wedding. I was like, y'all are crazy.
Okay, I'm just going to say
fire.
this. If you're going into a place and they said the Red Wedding is their favorite episode,
I would leave.
and they have a lot of sharp objects, I'm going to say you're not safe.
Yeah, it wasn't the barber doing this. It was the guy sitting in the shop.
Okay, well then there we go. I was gonna say if you go in there and like he's cutting your hair and it looks like he's wearing chainmail underneath, you need to go.
If he offers you any food or drink, don't take it.
I'm not worried about it.
Lulling you into a false
Oh, these
sense
are
of
the Ultra
security.
Boosts. Huh?
Yeah, it's a new Game of Thrones Ultra Boost. Unfortunately, I didn't get the. I should have put that.
Oh, I
image
see
up.
how they've tied it into Game of Thrones now.
It's like the
okay, on the
houses.
back it
The
says
houses and
Night's
the-
Watch is all black.
Yeah, and the colors. You get the Night's Watch. You've got, which those are pretty
I
sweet.
don't know what the gray one is. I can't read it.
Gray one is night. The gray one says winter is coming. The other one, the gray and black one is winter is coming. The Night's Watch is the black and white ones. The all white one says fire and blood. And then there's another one, a House Lannister one, which is some pretty cool Lannister
Is
colors.
that the red one?
The red, yeah, the black and red one. And then you've got.
Stark.
I
No.
like the. I
We're
like.
still talking about the Raiders.
Hear me roar.
Adidas.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's Stark.
Yeah, I really. I mean,
House
I
Stark.
like the White Walkers one, the ice color. Like,
I do too.
Mhm. I
Except-
Those are
think
dope.
those on the tongue on the inside, I think they say like winter is here.
Oh, that's
oh,
cool.
that's awesome.
Maybe.
So these
was
come
talking
out are
They're primarily online.
okay.
They come out March 22nd.
So they'll be gone.
So they'll be gone in a heartbeat. They're $180
Phew.
a pair.
They're out of my league. They're cool. They ain't that cool.
Yeah.
And the I really like the black ones. I guess it's the Night's Watch. I really like those. I think those look good. I love the iced out ones, the ones that
Yeah.
are all white. But my problem is white shoes. They don't
Dirty.
last.
Yeah.
They don't last. But I've been needing some new shoes anyway. So.
This makes me think that they need
All birds, man.
Avengers. shoes.
Well,
Just go.
man,
Oh, I'm
I'm
surprised.
surprised
there's-
that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Like after
What's that?
Endgame, if that's the end of that phase, they should have Avengers shoes.
We all know you're just wanting some Hawkeye shoes out of this.
I would take some Iron Man shoes too.
Well, those would be
Didn't
pretty
Converse come out with something like that?
They
I
came
mean, I know
out
they
with
did the
like
Joker ones.
comic versions, but like
Oh, okay.
like this, where it's like each individual.
Like an actual shoe, just the
Yeah.
colors are what indicate
Yeah.
it. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. But do you? I kind of giggle at this because then it's not like a Converse where it's got the comics on it so you can tell what it is. Nobody's gonna walk up to you and be like, which dish you got?
That's
And
okay.
like,
If I'm wearing them,
I got the Night's Watch, man.
I'll tell everyone. Look at my Hawkeye
And they're
shirt.
like, oh, well, I got House Lannister.
Yeah.
Oh, we're enemies.
Yeah.
We're gonna fight now.
I got the Card Starks.
There will be a.
I got them Hodor shoes.
No,
Oh.
too soon.
Hold the door.
Yeah. And that's
Realize
just that's
how
what
much
it says.
that changed the show.
Oh,
yeah.
it killed. I mean, it just killed me.
Like
Yeah.
In the
every
books, it
time he
was-
says it
yeah.
now, you don't laugh anymore. You
When
don't
says
go,
no British
"Ah,
Night's Watch."
Stupid Hodor.
Well, and I
You
honestly
cry.
though, I caught some. We were watching it last night or night before last, and they were in the. It was when Brandon is on the trying to get to the wall to get to north of the wall, and Hodor's asleep, and he's like using his name like he's using it in an inflected way, kind of like Groot.
Yeah.
Like I am Groot, and like he's inflecting his voice, but it's the same word. I was like, oh, okay.
What's
I
he doing?
didn't notice that before.
How's he say it?
Like questioning, like Hodor.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know the scene you're talking
yeah. I just was kind of like, oh, I missed that the first time I watched it.
So if you are a diehard Game of Thrones fan, at $180 a pair, you can put some Game of Thrones
about.
on your
Die is
feet.
the right word.
Your
Yes.
sunglasses and hat make you look like a old-timey blues man.
All you need now is a harmonica.
Nina Marnica
Please,
Dun, dun,
no.
dun.
on a guitar.
They call me Smoky Church.
Smoky Church.
And you know this, man.
Another TV news, Amazon has been teasing Twitters and everything else about the new Lord of the Rings series, and they have dropped the biggest piece of knowledge yet. It will happen during the Second Age, which basically means no Aragorn, not at the beginning at least. So at the beginning of the Second Age is basically the fall of Sauron. So it's the rise and fall of Sauron. That's the Second Age. So they're going to tell that story. And they dropped this by they've been posting these maps on the official Twitter thing, and then a couple of weeks ago they posted one as just the island of Numenor, which had been destroyed in the Second Age, and so they are showing that, and that is where the series will take place.
On the island
So-
that's destroyed.
We believe so. That's at least it's going to be part of it. But so now they're talking about the fact that it's probably going to be the rise and fall of Sauron, which is apparently, according to the story, and I have not read this far back. Sauron poisoned the king of Numenor, Al-Pharazôn, poisoned his mind after he became obsessed with eternal life. It is this time that the Numenorians, started to worship Sauron's god Morgoth as the first Dark Lord. Sauron turned Numenorian population against the Undying Lands, which led to their downfall. Then god Eru Elvatar turned the flat earth round.
What?
And sunk Numenor under the sea.
See, even Lord of the Rings has it
That's true.
as round.
So they're saying
Come
the
on.
Second Age itself, depending on where they sit in the Second Age,
Crazy.
the second
I was thinking that. I just didn't want to say it.
the Second Age is 3,000 years. So they got a lot of content.
But it's not all just going to be on the island, right?
I don't know. It's not. I don't know if it's going to be lost or not.
Oh, I was thinking Gilligan's.
How long is
Professor
it?
and Marianne, 3,000 years.
3,000 years.
So,
3,000.
because I've not read the books, is this situation at all ever described in the books? Other
In
than
the
no, I
Silmarillion?
was not
Silmarillion?
aware that
Yeah,
there were
I can't say
actually
it. I can't
books of Gilligan's Island.
In the so he can say it. I can't
Silmarillion.
pronounce it. I think it is. And then he's probably expanded on it in some other ones.
okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah. So Silmarillion.
I'll just refrain from asking questions that he can quote Gilligan's Island.
Nice. You
Goodness
just got to give me a heads
We could
up so I
write
can
one.
just mute his mic every time you ask.
Yeah,
a
I'll just
question. So yes, now since they've already committed to, I believe they've already committed to several seasons of this. Like obviously, there's a long thing that they could do there, and then I mean, just think about what if they're going back this far to tell this story about the rise and fall of Sauron, which makes sense. and then they get to the Aragorn story, I mean, you're talking about Walking Dead level of seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Like, 10, 12 seasons. Now, granted, it's going to be the most expensive television show ever made. So...
It is HBO, right?
It is Amazon.
Oh, okay, that's right.
It is Amazon.
Well, there's going to be a glaring void.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I'd just rather see it filled with something like, The Realm, but whatever. It'll get there.
I would too.
But it's a...
Heck, I would even take both.
I would too. I'd be okay with this. So, I don't know what they're going to do. This is going to be a very interesting thing to see because, like you said, I think the Silmarillion has pieces of this, but I don't think it has the whole story. So I believe they're obviously going to have to fill some gaps in with what that's going to be. But
what if they have Stephen Colbert as like a consultant?
Is
He's such a big nerd.
Is he?
For Lord of the Rings. He can quote like everything.
He was in The Hobbit.
He was in The Hobbit. He was.
I completely missed that.
His
Well, most
family
people did.
was. His
whole family was? That's
some of
awesome.
his kids were at least when they were like ushering them somewhere.
He was
They're
an old man
villagers.
who was fishing, I think.
Yeah.
I want a movie credit that says
So he
old
played
man
me
who's
in
fishing.
40 years.
Nice. All right, before we dive into everything that is Marvel, which is basically all of this week, a couple quick things on gaming. If you're angry at Anthem because of the loot drops, they have since changed some things. They did a server-side update yesterday or the day before that for higher levels grants a lot more loot. Even at lower levels for particular encounters have increased the loot pool too. One of the community managers basically got on Reddit and had a very open kind of thing about stuff and basically said, here's the deal, guys. Our developers are responding to you directly, like on Reddit and things like that. And some of you are being total tools about it. So if you want that to keep happening, you need to chill. And he talked about, they know that there are issues with the game and things like that, and they are working on it. I don't know that I've ever seen a game be adapted this quickly, like in terms of changes and stuff like that, than this. Destiny 1 was, it was weeks before we even got the first patch, I think. So yeah, it's an ever-evolving game. I'm still really enjoying it. Another game that Ninja's really enjoying is Apex Legends. It might have to do with the fact that he got paid $1 million to play it. When Apex Legends did its release, and it's been a huge success for them. A real, kind of, I don't want to call it a Fortnite killer, but they had when they launched it, they wanted to make sure as much visibility as possible. So they contracted Ninja to go play there. $1 million for his participation and promotion of the event. So yeah, that is a lot of money. I can hear you typing.
I can't wrap my brain around getting paid that much money to play a game.
Yeah.
I kind of think that might be fun.
Yeah.
I get that he has to play it a lot, and I understand that might be 8 hours a day or whatever.
10 hours a day.
But
Yeah,
for
I get that.
$1 million?
That's what I'm saying.
I'd pay it for 24.
Yeah, but truthfully, that's what I'm saying is like, how fun is that you're doing something that you enjoy? It's a job, but you enjoy it.
Yeah.
And you're making $1 million to do it. That's amazing.
Well,
Yeah.
and even if you could be paid like what we get paid, would you rather do what you do, or would you rather play games and get paid?
Well, considering I'm a noob in Josh's speak, probably what I do in real life. But no, truthfully, I think, I wouldn't mind just a paycheck to play. Yeah, absolutely. One that would pay my bills, not just like a 50 cent.
So what you get paid right now,
yeah,
and you play games,
yeah,
instead of discipline the youth.
Okay.
Double the salary.
Okay.
What would you do?
I would play games. I would not be noob status, that's for sure. I would be playing all the time.
We know Cav's obvious choice here,
Which is play games.
because he does
He'd
that
go watch hockey.
most of
That's
the
what he
time anyway.
Yeah. That's
Hockey
true.
and games.
I'll play games. I'm getting paid a whole bunch for
Yeah.
it.
Well, you're getting paid the same you are now.
But you're
Yeah.
playing games instead of
I still play games.
I'm just saying. I'm thinking like you take the human component out of all of our all of our jobs and just put the financial in front of it. I'm game to play games. Let's do this.
I mean, I have
It's what a
very
lot of
little
us might be
human
doing
contact as it
anyway.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, games. All right. Marvel time. Captain Marvel's made $1 bajillion. That's
And they're apparently going to win. I just saw an
That's an
update
actual
that said
number.
that they might actually win this weekend sales as
Oh,
well.
it wouldn't surprise
It's
me. in
the
the
top
slightest.
female lead movie.
Do you guys find that crazy
Globally.
considering that Wonder Woman was such a... I mean, it was so big. Do you find it wild that Captain Marvel is beating that?
I mean, I feel like there was a lot of hype for Wonder Woman,
Okay.
but I feel like there was more hype for Captain Marvel.
I do too.
And I
Okay.
think that if you look at, okay, so this is, I don't know how this is going to sound. You had people who were mostly dudes who were like, oh, I'm not going to go see a Wonder Woman movie, and then they hear how good it is, and they go, maybe they see it after the fact, like, oh, okay, whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, no, I'm down for Captain Marvel, like, that's the in
It did turn a lot of people.
in Captain Marvel is, like I said, it sets up so much. It's so important in terms
Okay,
of
that
what's
makes
coming
sense.
next.
Yeah.
There was set up for Captain Marvel too,
There's-
because you already knew
yeah.
Coulson.
There's that too.
You
Yeah.
already knew
Okay.
Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
There was a cat.
A page.
There was a cat.
Well, and
He was very awesome.
And I
the
guess
internet
also-
has proven anything. It's that people
Ronan.
love cats.
yeah.
Exactly, like those cats.
Yeah.
Well, and I've got
You
to
will.
say though, I mean I think the thing that makes Captain Marvel so different is the fact that it wasn't a love story. Like you had a female character who was pretty awesome to begin with,
Yeah.
and there wasn't a love story attached to it, and I think that's what made it a better movie.
Yeah.
Because like Wonder Woman leans pretty heavily on the fact that she's never seen a man, and then all of a sudden he falls in love with her.
But
and,
Wonder
I mean,
Woman and Steve Trevor, I mean, that's
That's
Wonder Woman.
I get that,
Yeah.
but I think when you look at it from trying to establish a strong female character,
Yeah.
we as men who direct things and whatever else typically lean on the love side of things instead of not.
That's what makes it important, is that she's in love with the man.
Right.
That's,
and
that's her
and-
reason for doing
right,
what
and I think that Captain Marvel puts that on its head, and I
Yep.
think that's part of the reason why it's such a big deal. Plus, what all of you've already said.
Press pause on that. We want to talk about that during the actual review of Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Because we want to go through all of that other stuff first. Pause.
Pause. That was my pause sound.
Megan agrees. Hi, Megan. Are you still under 19 inches of snow?
Is she in Colorado?
Yeah,
She
they live in
is.
Denver.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was gonna say my parents' house got like 16 inches.
That's nuts, man.
Yep.
Did the dam in Nebraska fail? Did anybody?
I
see
don't
that?
think so.
Okay. Because I love how the authorities in that area, I read the article, they were like, we're not really worried about the impact of floodwaters on the nuclear plant because the shutdown, it should be fine. Everything will
Yeah.
be fine. It'll be fine.
It always goes well.
That's
Water puts
fine.
out nuclear
I mean, you know.
radiation.
I mean, look at Fukushima.
Nuclear
It seems
radiation
okay.
is basically fire, and look what water does to that. So
Exactly.
pour some water on it.
What are you
Water
worried about,
can't get
people?
irradiated.
Yeah, right.
All right. So
That's why it's safe to drink in Fallout.
Oh, I've never played Fallout, but that's pretty
Just
funny.
put it, just
It's not
filter
safe to
it.
drink.
Maybe filter it like a couple of cycles.
Use a Brita.
yeah, he's a
Instead of just
Brita
the one, do it
takes
twice.
out radiation.
If they could figure that out, man, they're set for life.
Yep. So something else that we were talking about with Marvel that kind of surprised a lot of people, and we're going to go back to the Goose picture, I promise. James Gunn is back for Guardians 3, which is probably as close to a DC Marvel crossover as we're ever going to get. And so he has been rehired as a director. They were always going to use his script for Guardians 3, but they have announced that he is nice. She said Lucifer melted it with his laser eyes.
There you go.
So, do you know what Lucifer is, Church? There is this giant evil blue horse statue at Denver Airport.
Yes, and it's terrifying.
It's terrifying, and it's killed somebody. It killed the sculptor, Lucifer.
Yes.
Look it up.
It
It's
has like
creepy.
red eyes.
How did it
Yes.
kill the sculptor? Did he fall off?
It fell on him.
Oh, okay.
I believe that
I
is the
think
story.
is it supposed to be because of the Broncos? But
I
it
assume
was
so.
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah.
The first time I
Yeah.
went to the Denver airport and I saw that, I was like, "What in the world?" Yes.
All right, so James Gunn is back for Guardians 3. A lot of people, and then it's always one of those things when it got announced, then people go back and start looking at other people's tweets like Dave Bautista and Sean Gunn and stuff like that, and realize it was kind of in front of our face the whole time. They're like, oh, I think everything's going to work out okay. I have no idea how they did that contract with DC to do, because he's still doing Suicide Squad. So he's doing both. So I have no idea how they managed that contract. All I know is James Gunn is probably filthy rich right about now.
As he should be.
So, but he did post on Twitter. He said, I am tremendously grateful to every person out there who has supported me over the past few months. I'm always learning. Will continue to work at being the best human being I can be. I deeply appreciate Disney's decision. I'm excited to continue making films that investigate the ties of love that bind us all. I have been and continue to be incredibly humbled by your love and support from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Love to you all. So he is back for Guardians 3.
He's handled this entire thing with poise.
I think they
Because
said,
he's kept his mouth shut.
and I think they said that was part of it, was he didn't try, like, he didn't bash them. He didn't try to say, like, why he wasn't wrong. Like, he
No, he
openly
just-
just admitted it
He took ownership.
and took ownership, yeah. But I also read that it was really just, like, maybe one or two people in Disney that had an issue with him. And other ones, like, immediately wanted to hire him back. And they were all just kind of waiting until they could
Yeah.
figure out how to
I
do
think
it.
my only issue with it is they made a snap decision and now
Yeah.
they're going to
Yeah.
have to grow.
Snap.
And yeah, exactly. And when you do that as an organization as big as Disney, that
Yeah.
affects things. And I mean, let's be honest, we've all done things or said things that we're not proud of. It's part of growing up and learning.
Yep.
But the fact is, they made a huge decision that could have really affected them in the long term based on something that happened years prior.
Yeah, like
You
10
know.
years prior.
And I don't think in this day and
Yeah.
age that's a fair way to live your life. I mean,
I think in their back pocket.
still wrong, but
Yeah. In their back pocket, I think they had the director of Thor Ragnarok. I think he was basically, and if he would have done Guardians 3 and said, yeah, I'm in, I don't know that this happens. Because at this point, how do you do a deal with DC, with Warner Brothers? How do you do a deal with them to do a movie if this is even still there? Like, if this was even still a possibility.
he may have thought it was over with and was just moving forward.
Maybe that was why he wasn't upset.
I thought
He
that
was like,
offer
now
came
I get to do
very,
both.
Very
Yeah.
quickly, though.
It doesn't, like, this has to be in his DC contract. It has to be that he could do other stuff even for Disney. It has to be
Just
there.
in case or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Or it's going to be because this is almost going back to football. This is almost like, okay, Marvel is going to pay his director's fee for Suicide Squad to allow him to come back to do stuff with Marvel. It's like when a team gets traded, he has guaranteed money and all this other stuff, and stuff's being paid by other teams. It is a. I would love to know the nitty-gritty details on this because I feel like there's a big piece of it that we're missing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I
and
feel
we
like-
may never know.
Yeah, right now I think the most important as far as like DC versus Marvel was DC just wanted to make sure that theirs was done first and then he could work on
Yeah.
it. So like they're not being released in the same year, so they're not competing or anything like that.
Yeah.
And what I also read was that this was kind of on the table several months ago and kind of agreed to already.
That's what,
So it's just breaking now.
That's what I just said earlier.
I'm sorry.
Come on, listen. I don't know. So the
You heard it from me 5 seconds ago.
Is there anything
Hey,
else
Thor
you said?
Ragnarok's on Netflix, by the way.
so I mean that's got to be, but I mean could James Gunn conceivably? I mean Guardians Volume 3 trilogy. Maybe he's done with Guardians after that, and then maybe he can do 2 more Suicide Squads. Maybe it's a one-off deal with Disney. Like hopefully at some point we get some information on this. I feel like with all the. Do you remember when the Sony emails got hacked and all the stuff about Spider-Man and all that stuff came out? Like, at some point, I wonder if we're going to get any information about this from various data breaches.
I don't know. And if we don't, we don't. But I'm just glad
Yeah.
that they recognized that.
Hey, there's my mom. Hi, Mom.
Hi.
I'm glad that they recognize that, you know what, people make mistakes. They're included
Yeah.
in it, and they're willing to at least look at it.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
think
as,
that's pretty
uh,
big of them.
I do too.
Maybe as soon as he's free of the contract, he just divulges everything on Twitter.
That would be great.
He's rich. He doesn't have to care. Everyone knows his genius by now.
Unless
they'll
he
hire
has
him regardless.
He could have a what is it?
Is that what
An
it is?
NDA non-disclosure.
Yeah.
There might be a non-disclosure.
Yeah.
And don't forget about Brightburn, which is coming out in just a few weeks now, I think.
Is Brightburn in a few weeks?
I
It's pretty
think it might
close.
be.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm pretty stoked about that. That's gonna look good. Speaking of snap decisions and snaps in general, we got our first look at Thanos for Infinity War. Empire Magazine in Espanol has a cover of Thanos. He looks very.
He is really bulked up
Dude has been working.
on his farm.
Yep.
Well, he now has all the food that
Yeah.
he didn't have.
So he took the half of the food from the other world. He just put it on
He
his.
is jacked.
Thanos.
He's been hitting those protein stacks.
Yep. So is that the same armor? Or is that different armor?
That's different.
It looks different.
Yeah.
It looks upgraded.
So they've got that, and a lot of people said, shouldn't the Infinity Gauntlet be all jacked up?
Maybe he got the other one.
Yeah, he could have
there's
gone and gotten the
two.
other. There were two.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he fixed it.
Maybe this is back in time.
Maybe he took Thor's hammer and hammered it back
You're
out.
like, all right, come on, Thor, come on. I need a.
Well, and that was the other interesting part about the trailer for Endgame was Thor has a new hammer that's also looking like an axe. Like
Well, he got that.
long-
He got that at the end of Infinity War.
But that was a. This hammer looked different to me though.
This one looked like, what is it?
This didn't look
Stormbreaker?
like Stormbreaker to me.
Stormbreaker.
Because Stormbreaker was more of an axe, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
And this
I
was
thought
more
it
of
was
a
the same-
hammer.
In which part of the trailer?
When he's like
Over
this,
Captain Marvel?
Yeah,
It's
that
an
was a
actual
hammer.
I
was
thought
a-
that
that
was.
was a
I thought
hammer.
that was the axe.
I think that was Stormbreaker because I watched it a couple times. Because the way it comes over her shoulder, I was expecting, and the way he.
I was expecting her to grab it and hold it. I would have been like, yes.
Or the fact that she didn't flex or flinch
Yeah.
is
I
why
was
he was
thinking
like, I like
she
her.
was going to do the glowy back at him and be like, so what?
you have a.
I don't know.
smashy
Maybe
thing.
I just looked at it wrong, but to me it looked like he had a new hammer
Yeah,
type of
it
thing
looked like Mjolnir to me.
that had like a
I
longer
would like it
handle on
to
it.
Meow
be-
meow.
Meow meow.
Here's the thing, and you may be right because
I don't know.
we're going to get to this. So let's just jump right into. Marvel decided to surprise everybody and drop a new Avengers Endgame trailer. It's awesome. It looks something like this, and so
Especially that guy.
especially that guy. So let's break this down. At this point, I feel like quantum realm time travel is happening. Like
I have a theory.
It would have to because
That it's a demon.
there's something
No.
with quantum.
theory.
It's
What is
bunnies. No, I have a theory now, you guys, because
Okay.
I've been reading up on Flerkens. Okay, he knows this.
How have you been reading up on
2 weeks ago, we would never have thought that we would be talking so much about Flerkens because
Yeah.
we didn't know what a Flerken was.
Okay, Flerkens inside of them have pocket dimensions. That's how he had the Tesseract and could throw back.
Spoilers.
Even
Spoilers.
Flerkens
Sorry,
have
sorry.
pockets.
Even
So-
Flerkens have pockets. There's
Okay,
our
Yeah.
title.
so-
There's
And
our
I
title.
don't, but a freaking
Be
Flerken
cautious
does.
about spoilers as you're going.
I'm sorry. We are talking about it. We did say we were going to talk about
At the end though,
it.
Yeah.
At the end. Sorry. Anyways.
Is it the end yet, or are we still spoiler free?
we're spoiler free.
Spoiler free for like 2 minutes.
So,
They have hidden
anyways,
dimensions.
they have hidden dimensions inside of them. So what if Goose is going to, like, that's how they're going to time travel. Is through the pocket
That
dimensions.
is
and then
very
you're just
troubling.
gonna cough them back up.
That's very troubling.
Like go do
What?
this and then it's like
What I'm getting at is the cat is going to save the world.
it's true.
Hey man, it could
Cat
happen.
looks a lot like that.
It could happen.
See, that's
That's
why.
Goose.
Okay, so
Okay, I love the Captain Marvel goose most of all because of the hair.
yeah. So we did in addition to the new trailer, we did get an actual new poster.
Yep. And you get Mohawk Hawkeye, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I've got a close up of MohawkEye.
Yeah, he's going through a phase right
And
now.
right
I kind of dig the
there,
cut, man.
right there, that dust, that's Spider-Man.
Too soon, man. Too soon.
That's Spider-Man right there.
I don't feel so.
Yeah. So new trailer or a new poster. What it just goes to show you that every organization can make a mistake. they left off Denai Guerrera's name off the top of the poster originally.
And which one is she?
She's from Black Panther on the
Okay,
far right.
yeah. Okay.
And
Michonne.
Michonne basically. And the internet turned on Marvel so dang fast.
Good.
Yeah.
But it happens.
Yeah. And so, like you said, they're just like, and so Marvel put out a new poster and said, "Oh, should have been there all along. That was our mistake." But yeah, that is a very awesome poster.
Widow's
Widow?
face looks
Did
weird.
Groot make it?
Like, not her face, but like the placement of it.
Her head looks a little big.
Yeah, like they did a bad Photoshop job.
Yeah. They should hire Sam.
Groot did not make it.
Groot did not make it. I believe
was Rocket.
I believe that's Groot right there.
Because the sad part about that was you found out that like one of the last things that Groot said, like translated from "I'm Groot," was like basically saying that Rocket was his like a father figure.
So how
And
did
then
you
he
figure that out?
Because it was all over the internet after.
Oh, so
Like-
it must be true.
Yeah.
She
No,
knows,
the
Groot language.
director or
Oh,
screenwriter
She
can
of
interpret.
Marvel came out
Gotcha.
and said
Yeah.
said it.
I
So,
missed it.
one of the big things from the trailer that did come out was this. It's
Yes.
MohawkEye,
He has to compete with Carol.
I guess. And so, the internet has
Do you
dubbed
think he
him.
was like, man, I really like her haircut. I'm gonna make my own.
I feel like he is going through some emotional stuff
Did
right now.
did he use
I mean-
an arrow to cut his hair?
Yes.
I feel like you'd have to.
He hits
Barbershop
the
arrow.
thing.
Yeah, he has a barbershop arrow.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, he's got everything else.
So yeah, there's a lot to break down in that
No, it's
trailer.
a narrow.
It's a
Narrow.
narrow.
It removes hair. Yeah.
Nice. A lot to
Give
break
me De
down in that
Niro.
trailer. You see them in the what look like Pym suits.
Yep.
And so you figure it's pocket dimension, time travel stuff. You see people in the trailer, Widow specifically, her appearance changes like every time you see her.
So does Captain America's.
And Hawkeye.
Yeah, so I mean,
his
you see
changes.
because she's all blonde, then red hair, blonde tips, then all red, and so there's a lot of little things talking about that indicate time travel.
Well, and they were
Time
saying
travel
that
or
like
flashbacks.
Yeah, it's true.
they were saying that like on well, I'll save that actually. I'll save that because that's a Captain Marvel thing. So I'll save it.
So some people are also putting odds on whether or not that Ant-Man is just going to fly inside of Thanos and go big and kill him. I mean, I figure.
Perfect.
Yeah, he has a nostril, I think. So
Definitely
other
has an
things.
orifice.
He
yeah,
definitely has holes.
that's true. So easy.
I was just thinking that's also a possible title.
Yeah. No, even Flerkens have pockets is our title.
Thanos definitely has holes.
All right, here's the thing. Disney's going to do the Marvel What If as a series, but we're going to get to that next week. Let's get into Captain Marvel. Let's dig into this here. All right, Captain Marvel. All right, if you have not
So,
seen Captain
spoilers?
Marvel, if you have not seen it, if you have not watched it,
Go see it.
Oh, we need to do our top 10 before we hit Captain Marvel.
Can I just say that Funko has released 2 gooses
I
Yes,
see
they
that.
have.
with
I
the
sent
thing?
Sam one of them.
There's a chase.
So
yeah.
Shouldn't you say
technically,
geese?
So there's 3 then.
I did not spoil it. Funko spoiled it.
It's true because there is a
But there are 3 though, right?
I
Because
think
the
there's
chase
more.
the chase has the
the chase is the little bit.
tentacles.
okay.
The other
And
one,
then there's the tentacles with the
it's a Tesseract.
Okay.
I would have thought the chase would have been the Tesseract.
Yeah, I would
And then
think
there's
so
some
too.
regular ones.
Well,
that
that,
I
but
don't
there's
really
a
care
flocked
as much
version
about
that's
the
a
chase.
store exclusive, and that's the one
Oh,
I
there
sent
is?
Sam. Impulse has the regular one.
Yeah.
I know. I figured there was a chase, but
Yeah.
I wonder what the other one is. I bet it'll be a San Diego Comic-Con release
Yeah, it
or
could be.
New York or something.
Where's the
Yeah.
flocked?
Anyway,
It
I
was
just
it was
wanted to say
overseas.
wasn't
I
my
don't know.
fault.
Yeah, you're fine.
I mean, it'll end up at a con somewhere.
Yeah.
But I
Alright.
bet it'll be about $70 or $80.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Okay,
Okay.
sorry to derail.
You're fine. Let's go before we get into Captain Marvel because it is somebody's buzzing.
Me. So.
I asked everybody to do their lists, their top 10, or their top movie lists or whatever, in order.
I did not do that.
I didn't
I'm
figure.
sorry.
Church, do you have a
did.
list? you have a
I've been
list?
kind of making it.
Okay.
So which direction are we going? Are we going for?
let's start at the bottom. Let's go at the very, very bottom.
Okay. So let me.
The
pull
very-
up- I can. You guys go ahead. I'll make my
At the
list.
very bottom has to be, at least for me, has to be Incredible Hulk.
No.
I have Hulk at the bottom
I got
because
Ultron.
because no one ever thinks that it actually exists in this universe.
Are we taking it all the way back?
All the way back?
Okay.
Yeah, I
Ultron.
started from Iron Man.
You have Ultron at the bottom, huh?
I have Ultron and then Infinity. Although Infinity could go up. I'm really just waiting for the second.
Infinity is smack dab right in the middle.
So
at the
yeah,
moment, because it's
it
still
can
in
move.
flux.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Hulk.
Okay.
So Hulk is third from the bottom.
Yeah, I've got my bottom three: Hulk, Thor: Dark World, Iron Man 3. That's my bottom three.
Okay. I think mine would be Ultron, Hulk, Dark World.
I have Ultron, Infinity, and Hulk. I just didn't know what to do with Infinity.
So much of these are so close.
Yeah.
It's hard to really decide one way or the other.
And what do you
A
think
lot of
really
them are, 'cause
brings
there's
them to
really
the bottom?
no dud.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Yeah, I chose my top two really just kind of out of respect.
Yeah. By the way, Jessica says there's 2 Flerken ones and then 2 regular. One of them is flocked. So.
Yeah, I knew
So-
one. I knew
so
one
She
was
knows her
flocked because I
Funkos.
saw
So
it.
is there 5 then? 2 Flerken, 2 regular, and 1. Oh, so 4. There were probably 4 then.
Yeah,
It's
because
four.
I
Flerken.
Yeah.
literally the day after we saw the movie, I came across the flocked one in an
Yeah.
ad. It wasn't for sale here, but I sent
Gotcha.
it to Sam because I thought he might want it. And
Have any of them been released yet?
Impulse
Yeah.
has them at the store right now.
The
'Cause
one
I
with
have-
the Tesseract?
No, they just have a regular Flerken.
Because my friend has almost all of the Captain Marvel ones already. I don't know if she has the Tesseract ones yet.
How did
Those
she
are-
get them?
Oh, she pre-ordered.
Oh, okay,
Online.
okay.
She
Well, I
got
mean,
all.
and that's fine. I just was curious as to what that looked like.
All right. What are your next 3 above those?
Above those, Hulk, Civil War, Thor 2, Iron Man 3. And Iron Man 3 probably should be higher up. I can't quite remember. It's been so long.
It's the Mandarin.
It's the Mandarin, and he's in
Yeah,
and he's
out of-
hanging out with
that's
the
what I-
boy. Yeah.
Wait, is that one the one with all of the other Iron Man suits?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so that was right.
Yeah,
It was my
what-
least
what was that
favorite
called?
of the Iron Mans.
Iron Man 3.
Extremis?
Extremely.
No, the command that he gives when he starts blowing them up.
Execute Order 66.
It's not 66.
I have no idea.
I think it's something to do with Christmas.
Sweet Christmas.
Sweet Christmas?
It's not Sweet Christmas, but I knew everyone was going to go to
Speaking
that.
of Sweet Christmas, Luke Cage will be in Dallas.
That's true.
Nice.
All right.
But yeah, and then Thor 2, I just didn't. It
Sure.
wasn't my favorite.
Church,
Thor.
what are your next 3?
Hold on, I'm working on this as we're talking. Actually,
Okay.
Just do it.
because yeah, I've got Hulk on the bottom.
Yeah.
Simply because I enjoyed Hulk, but it just didn't go anywhere after that.
Yeah.
It
Not
was the
Hulk's
only.
fault.
Yeah.
It's not, but it's the only Marvel movie that has felt like a DC movie
Yeah.
because there just nothing happened off of it. We didn't get anything off of Tim Blake Nelson after that, sadly.
Who owns?
By the way, if you're
Hulk.
watching on Facebook and you want to chime in with your order,
Because
your
that's like a
movie order,
Spider-Man
please
thing,
do.
right?
I need a
owns
large
Hulk?
pizza with extra
Yeah.
pepperoni.
Because they don't
like
have
the
the
movie?
entire rights for Hulk, right? Because that's why Hulk can't get a standalone.
Cav?
Sorry, hit me one more time.
Marvel doesn't.
Okay,
own-
Brittany. Chill out over there, Brittany. Leave Brittany alone, okay?
Hey, I like Britney, so
Okay,
you can
so-
make all the Britney references.
Okay, so
Yeah,
what
you're
now?
such a
Hulk-
womanizer.
Doesn't
I'm so toxic. I don't even know, like,
Hulk does not own? Marvel doesn't
make me
own
crazy.
completely the rights to Hulk, right?
I
'Cause that's
I
why-
want to say Hulk is a Fox property.
Yeah. And then Fox, well, I guess now that means maybe they could get it back. But originally, that was why they couldn't have a solo.
Right.
Yeah,
Hulk.
I believe that is correct.
So that's why we've been stuck with
Yeah.
Okay.
just Edward.
That's why they had
Yeah.
to shoehorn Planet Hulk into
Mm-hmm.
Ragnarok.
It's
Well
the only
done.
way we can.
Yeah.
Well done as a way to do that.
Okay, next 3. This is going to cause some. I'm sure this is going to cause some whatever. Ultron, Ant-Man, Wasp, Captain Marvel.
I'm with you on Captain Marvel. I think it's also in flux because where Endgame is going to go. Ant-Man and Wasp, I've got high.
I don't.
I don't.
I enjoyed it.
I have Ant-Man and Wasp. You're going to be mad at me for this. Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Nah, I'm with you on that.
and Doctor Strange. Doctor
Okay,
Strange.
you can leave.
No. This is how I sorted.
He's gonna take that personal.
This is how I
really
sorted
am.
them. Was I went and I rated all the ones I really, really liked.
Yeah.
And out of all the ones I really liked, that one was kind of the bottom one. And then I went through and added the ones I didn't like as much.
Gotcha.
So he's just kind of at the end of the awesome ones.
Gotcha. Okay. Nick, how's it going over there with you?
What number are we on here?
We're in the bottom 6.
Okay, bottom 6.
Yeah.
So I already said the first 3.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want 3 more, right?
Yep, 3 more.
I'd have to say Iron Man 3.
Okay.
Okay, because honestly, I just got tired of the Mandarin because he was
that
such an
up.
ominous character, and I thought fantastic. And then all of a sudden, you just find out he's been drugged.
Yeah,
and
he's
I'm
an
like,
actor,
"This is
yeah.
like, come on, this is lame. That's poor storytelling.
We've been shamed
and
by
then, gosh, from that point, I would honestly have to kind of say maybe a little bit of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, maybe.
Okay,
I really enjoyed
You
it.
have to
but-
answer Megan.
Yeah.
Huh?
Here's a question. What would a person need to watch if they want to go to the opening of Endgame, but they have only seen Captain Marvel?
Black
Just see
Panther on.
Infinity.
I would say First Avengers.
Yeah, I guess.
You need to see First Avengers. You need to see Civil War. Wait, is Civil War the one with Black Panther? Yes.
No.
That's where you first get
Oh, yeah, it
introduced.
is. Yeah, it is.
You need to see Civil War. You need to
You need to see Black Panther.
see Black Panther.
Probably need to see
Guardians 1.
Spider-Man, just to get introduced to him.
You get introduced
But
to
I
him
thi-
in Civil War.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And then Infinity War.
Yeah.
I think depending on how much time you have
Yeah.
beforehand to watch them.
All of them except for Incredible Hulk, Thorough Dark World, and Iron Man 3.
Yeah, really.
I mean,
They
they all connect, and so like
Yeah.
if you really want to have, it's just like anything else. If
Yeah.
you really want to have a full understanding of the universe and the phase of what Marvel is doing,
Yeah.
obviously you watch all of them. But the ones that we're talking about right now, I think Incredible Hulk really doesn't tie to necessarily a whole lot.
Because you have to think about there's characters like Hulk, like Spider-Man, that even if you're not a fan, you know who they are.
Right.
You
And
don't
you could probably
need that
bypass
backstory.
their story.
Yeah.
I would watch all of Phase 1 except for Hulk.
I
Yeah.
think
Well, what
if
phase is
you're-
Marvel moving into?
Phase
It's
4.
4.
4.
Yeah, this is the end of
Okay.
Phase 3.
Because last week we said phase 2.
Oh,
Yeah. So I was just
that's
like
a lot of phases.
confused.
Okay.
So they're in phase 4.
They're in Phase 4. All right. After that,
Yeah,
I've
this
got
ends Phase 3.
Iron Man 2, Guardians 2, and now we're getting into stuff that I like, and Civil War.
You don't like the other movies?
Well, I mean, we're getting to the point in the
Like,
list
it's
where the
so
difference is
Hard
minimal.
to choose, yeah,
It
because
is,
they're
yeah.
all so good. So
Yeah, Guardians 2, Civil War, Iron Man 2, Guardians 2, Civil War.
Civil War is so low for me. What is the Doctor Strange? I have Iron Man 2, Ant-Man, Captain America.
The first one?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, that's not going from the top, right?
No, we're going from the bottom.
Okay, yeah. Well, I liked Winter Soldier better than the first one.
Okay.
So
Was it because it was slower?
no, I really liked it, but I liked it because I really liked Howard Stark and Peggy. I mean, he was good too,
I thought
but
you
they
just
were
said-
my favorites, and I
Okay.
was like, I feel weird. I can't put something up higher if my favorites are the supporting characters.
So
Okay.
should have been called
Agent Carter.
Agent Carter and Howard
Yeah.
Adventures.
Or just Agent Carter.
The Adventures of, of Howard and Agent Carter.
Fondue after midnight.
Yes.
Okay.
It was good, but I think that was another one where I might have to rewatch it again because it's been such a long time.
So for me,
Yeah, what do you got?
3 more would be in order. I would say Captain America, original one.
Okay.
Thor,
Okay.
original. And then we get into Winter Soldier.
Okay.
So, because there are some that I really loved the movies, and I like all the other ones that I've named. It's just Age of Ultron kind of was like, okay, whatever. And Dark World kind of the same feel, but all the others, well, Iron Man as well, Iron Man 3, all the others I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
I thought they were really good. So it's kind of hard to delineate where they fall. But.
Church, what do you got? Let's flip it the other way. Let's go backwards. Give me your top 10.
Oh,
My
gosh.
top 10?
Top 10.
Starting at 10 or starting at 1?
Starting at 10, because I really want to get into Captain Marvel. We've teased it like all episode.
Let's see. I'd put Infinity War at 10 at the moment.
Okay.
Has the potential to fall quite a bit.
Okay.
Ant-Man and Wasp at number 9.
Okay.
Enjoyed that one quite a bit. I'm going to do Civil War at number 8.
Just to
Why are
mess
you
with
looking
her.
at me like that?
Because I knew they couldn't do the storyline that was going to be Civil War.
Yeah, but
in
they
the comics.
didn't have to make it all about.
They didn't have to. They
that.
could have tied it to something a little more close to the concept of Civil War. But I was happy that we even got a Civil War movie because I thought they would just skip over that entirely.
So it could have been terrible, but you would have been happy just because it made it to the theater.
No, because I didn't think it was terrible. Honestly, I felt like they snuck an Avengers movie in there, and I was thrilled about that.
Yeah.
They
That's,
did, but that's also part of it. They should have just made an Avengers movie.
Well, they
They did. They just called it Civil War.
just called it
They
Civil
just called
War.
it Captain America Civil
Yeah.
War.
Yeah, they really didn't have to call
That's
it
what
Captain
I'm saying.
America.
It's
You're
like,
right.
Yeah.
quit billing it as Captain America. Just put it as Avengers.
Maybe that was a Chris
Well,
Evans
but I
thing
think-
because he was going to drop off after a while, and they were like, "Wait,
Yeah.
you're still contracted to."
But I think the point
guys
of-
move the schedule up and just put Captain America in front of it,
And then
and
we're
we
good.
got Evans. He's stuck.
But I think the point of tagging it with Captain America is because it's called Civil War and it's you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
just think for audiences that aren't generally affiliated with it, I think it just makes sense.
I knew
You disagree.
before I
Yeah.
even saw it.
That's all right.
No, because it was a big Avengers storyline.
I understand that. I've read it.
Yeah,
but
it didn't-
but the average fan probably hadn't read it, and so
But they
have to
could
tie
just
it to
put
something.
Avengers Civil War like they did Avengers Endgame. And
I
But
do
that
feel
would have,
like-
but that would have broken their whole like this movie, Avengers. This movie, Avengers. Like
This movie, Avengers. This movie, Avengers.
Well, then- Give something else and then do Avengers.
that's true.
let's call Age of Ultron
Captain America, Age of Ultron.
Scarlet Witch, Age of Ultron.
Yeah. Okay.
Thor, number 7.
Thor number 7. Oh, we got a list from Jessica too. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay. I like this list.
Yeah,
Sort of.
she's pretty smart.
There's some things I don't like about this list.
You can be wrong. I'm just I'm just sticking up for my friend.
Okay. What is do you have the rest of yours? Are you still figuring?
Oh, I have
Okay, hit me. Go.
Okay.
Don't actually hit me.
So from 10, starting at 10
Yeah.
to 1, Captain America, Black Panther, Thor, Captain Marvel, Spider-Man Homecoming, Winter Soldier, Ragnarok, First Guardians, Avengers, and Iron Man. And I put them up, the last two up higher because without them you don't get the rest.
True.
So I feel like they need that respect.
Mine is Black Panther, Thor, Guardians, Infinity War, Homecoming, Ragnarok, Doctor Strange, first Captain America, first Iron Man, Avengers at the top.
Yeah, I can be okay with that.
It was really tough between Doctor Strange and Ragnarok, I'm not going to lie.
A lot of
Like-
these were really, really tough. It was like choosing your favorite child or something. I don't have children, but you know,
Choosing your favorite cat.
I guess.
Which one?
I can't choose. One of them will kill me.
There's
Jessica's
one who's
list.
going to kill you regardless.
Jessica's list going from bottom to top: Hulk, Dark World, Iron Man 3, Thor, Ultron, Iron Man 2, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Guardians 2, Doctor Strange, Winter Soldier, Ant-Man, Civil War, Infinity War, Iron Man, Avengers, Spider-Man, Black Panther, Thor, Ragnarok, and Guardians at the top. I give Guardians respect because nobody expected it to be what it was. But
So that's a good dark horse contender for number 1.
It was
yeah,
really good.
it was good. It was unexpected.
For a long time,
Yeah,
it was the funniest Marvel movie.
until
So far.
Ragnarok. Yeah,
And it was the one that, like, if I had 2 hours to kill and I could watch any Marvel movie, I just want to watch it.
okay,
I just wanted to start right then.
Okay.
I'm sitting down. I'm ready to watch. Go.
gotcha.
I'm here for 2 hours. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, originally I thought Thor was the funniest and that no one really expected it to be awesome.
No, well, we
and
didn't.
then I
Yeah.
think Guardians replaced it, and then Ragnarok.
And then Thor
Took
was
it
like,
back.
"Oh, yeah, no,
Yeah.
no. Here's my title."
Yep. Nick, what's your top 10?
Oh gosh. Okay, so here we go. From 10 on,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say. Let's see here if I can do this the right way here. Captain America,
Okay.
Civil War,
Okay.
okay. Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy,
Okay.
okay. Ant-Man,
First Ant-Man, yeah.
Doctor Strange,
Okay.
okay. Then we've got Ant-Man and Wasp.
Ant-Man and Wasp above original Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was funnier.
Okay.
Okay. Thought it was a better story.
Okay.
And then let's see here. I'm on 7. So then Doctor Strange.
You already said
Okay.
Doctor Strange.
Did I?
Doctor Strange is all. It's so good. It's on his list twice.
Yeah, there you go.
See?
Okay, well then here we
I
go.
agree
Here's
with
the
that.
next order
It
then.
is good.
Then it's Ragnarok, Black Panther, Infinity War.
You put Infinity War at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, and that's just because I ran out of the top 10.
Yeah.
If there was a top 11, and I could have like everybody move down, it'd be Captain Marvel. So really, Captain Marvel is my number 1, truthfully.
Yay.
So then,
Interesting.
if we
Okay.
bump all that down, then I guess
Okay.
it would be the first. The first movie I said would be off the list. I don't
Gotcha.
even remember what it was.
Church.
Top 10 or top
Yeah,
5?
You, at
'Cause I
this
already
point,
gave
you're at your top 5.
pretty much my top.
Oh, really
5.
quick. Hi, Kate.
Hi, Kate. What's
No,
your
you're
top 10 Marvel movies?
Do you know what a Flerken is?
Hawkeye.
MohawkEye.
I found that way too funny.
5, I've got Winter Soldier.
Okay. I like Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier was very good.
Yeah.
It was another one. While it didn't have the same cast, it did have the feel of an Avengers movie.
Okay.
4 is original Avengers.
Okay.
3, Guardians. 2, 1 and 2 is going to be Iron Man and Ragnarok.
Interchangeable at 1 and
Which
2.
one do you think?
I'm going to go Iron Man.
At number 1?
Yeah.
Iron Man at number 2.
I think you do Ragnarok.
Yeah. Just because
Ragnarok fits me.
That's true. I can
It's
see that.
really
I can
good.
think about things in Ragnarok and start laughing so hard I can't
Same.
breathe.
Like Kid Help.
Him,
I reference it way more than I thought I would.
Him taking the ball as he's talking to Hulk and throwing it against the wall and then bouncing and nailing him in the head had me. I missed the next 15 seconds the first time I saw it.
I still love when he sees Hulk and he's like, I know him.
He's a friend
It's a
from
friend.
He's a
and
friend
then he
from
gets
work.
beat up. And then when they're
And
walking
then Loki's
through the
up there.
city,
He's just
he's
like, how does it feel?
Yeah.
Right, but then he's
That
like,
was the best part.
But then when he first sees Hulk and he's like, I have to leave. I have to go. But then when they're walking through the city and he's
He's
just
like, the sun's going down.
Yeah,
the sun's going down. The sun's going down. The
down.
sun's getting real low.
and then also
Point
between
break.
Yeah. Break.
between Bruce
The
and
strongest Avenger.
Valkyrie when he's like, I feel like I know you.
Yeah.
And then the snake story. That was good too.
It's
Because he
true.
knows I like snakes.
And then he stabbed me.
He's done.
I'm
And
sorry.
he's like, oh, it's me.
And then it cuts over to him, to Loki, and he's just smiling. He's still
That-
so proud of
That
it.
looked like Hiddleston actually laughing. That looked like
That
like
to
Hemsworth completely winged that speech, and they caught Hiddleston because he was just sitting there cracking up, and they went, "That's brilliant. We're using."
That was-
I feel like there's a lot of improv.
To me,
Oh,
that
right.
was
Oh,
a
they've
They
confirmed that.
Yeah.
ad-libbed the majority of it.
Yeah, majority of that movie was ad-libbed.
that story though was like the perfect sibling story.
Right, right.
They do something terrible to you, and then years later they still find it hilarious.
When Hulk steps out of the hot tub and he's like, I'll never unsee that.
Well,
that's Jessica. That's
in
Jessica.
my brain.
Yeah.
And then when they're talking, and he's like, "Yes, we're both fires," and he's like, "But I'm like burning, raging fire."
Well, and the funny thing about
watch this
about
again.
getting on the plane where it's like, I'm sorry, the strongest Avenger. It's like,
arguing.
dang it, Stark. It's like, Point Break. Welcome, Thor.
Everyone in the movie was just spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting Goldblum
Goldblum was, yeah.
What is the name of your planet? Asgard?
They've stolen my champion. Take to the skies.
And when he activates the birthday.
It's my birthday. Oh
God, that's going to be on the intro now.
could be.
Thanks, Sam.
All right, so let's get into Captain
sidetracked.
Marvel.
Please don't cut my hair.
Let's get into Captain Marvel.
All right,
here.
so spoilers.
all
1, 2,
the-
3.
all the spoilers.
You're here.
Oh, when
So
he's
sorry.
talking about his hammer. Time and how sad. I'm sorry. We're done.
Yeah, I totally forgot about
We're done now. I just remembered that.
Meek and
Sounds like you really loved his hammer.
Korg.
Korg.
Piss off, Ghost.
So Captain
Sorry.
Marvel,
Marvel.
you're fine. Captain Marvel. How long have we been waiting for Captain Marvel at this point?
10 years.
How long did we know Captain Marvel was going to happen? Because it was before.
1 year.
It was
2 years.
I
before.
feel like probably about
Before Infinity
maybe 5
War.
or 6 months before Infinity War, we knew it was
Yeah.
going to happen.
Because she posted that thing on Twitter, a
Oh,
picture of
yeah.
her in the
Yeah.
hat.
Because then they started teasing like she was gonna be the main reason how they would win in the second.
Yeah.
And I mean,
We
the hype
hope.
really kicked into overdrive when the pager went off.
Yeah.
So that's why it's different from Wonder Woman. Both of them had hype. This had hype a full year in advance
Oh,
from
easily.
that
Yeah.
pager
Well,
kicking
and it
off.
ties into
And it
and
so
ties
many
the
into
other
stakes
everything
that it
else.
puts on
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to watch it so you can get to Endgame.
Well, and I'm going to change gears just slightly. There was a guy that made I don't know if it's working, but I thought it was working, pager. That's a Captain Marvel pager.
It's awesome.
Like he made a prop.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
awesome. The Captain Marvel, like you said, it had all this hype, and I think it also suffers a little bit from that. 'Cause here's my issue with Captain Marvel. That movie was not just a Captain Marvel movie. That movie had too much to do in 2 hours. You introduced the most powerful being in the universe in Captain Marvel. You're also starting to set up in-game a little bit, so in a way that you understand her and her powers, how she can be formidable to him. And you're also getting this origin story for Coulson and for Nick Fury. And for me, like when they were in the barn or whatever in the Kree and they were talking, or the Skrulls and they were talking, like to me that felt like the end of a movie. Like, okay, this part's done. Now let's go on and do other things. Like, it felt a little disjointed in that there was just so much to do in 2 hours. Like, you make that movie 2.5 hours and give us more. It's like we didn't get enough Captain Marvel. Like, that's the thing. I knew about Nick Fury. Like, yeah, he looks great and he's old and there's this awesome cat and all this other stuff. But I felt like there would have been more Captain Marvel related stuff.
Are you saying you wanted the cat out of the movie? Because if so,
No,
you
I
can
wanted
get
no.
out.
I know the cat can. it's
Cat
my
can have a
house.
series.
The cat can have a spin-off, and I think that it should. It just felt like, at least for me, I went into it with a mind of, okay, this is about Captain Marvel, who's going to play such a big role in Endgame, that the Endgame stuff was stuck in my head the whole time.
But all they had to do was explain the pager, because this was from the 90s.
yeah,
so-
but you knew it was Captain Marvel.
Well,
like,
yeah.
and
You
so
knew that was Marvel, but all you had to do was link the pager. And then
Oh, yeah, for
tell him, she says, whenever you need me, I'm galaxies away. So then
Yeah.
that's why you know why she wasn't there to begin with. It takes a while to get
exactly
galaxies back.
galaxy traffic.
So bam, set up already.
It seemed to, for at least in my brain, it was so hooked into Endgame, like because here's the thing: in Endgame, or not Endgame, in Infinity War, you see Thanos. He's got the most powerful thing or whatever. All this stuff. Hey Shanna,
Hey, babe.
I wanted to understand what would make Captain Marvel a formidable opponent for Thanos, and I don't.
It's the Fury. But also, you also have
It's
to
the Super
think.
Saiyan.
You have to think that the core was the Tesseract. So
Yes.
she's basically absorbed
Yes.
part of the Tesseract.
Yes.
And that is very powerful, as we know. So that gives her a ton of strength. And if you go into the comics, I believe in the comics she finds out she's part Kree. And that's important.
Wasn't she infused with Kree blood, though?
Yeah,
Wouldn't
but
that
she
make her
was
part
also, like, her mom was Kree.
Oh, okay.
So she's, like, literally
Okay.
part Kree.
Gotcha.
But, that just, in my brain, tells me why she didn't die from getting a Tesseract.
You see, that's the...
But, so that's powerful enough.
Yeah.
So right there, is she can at least punch
Are we
Thanos.
supposed to think that she's powerful enough already to defeat Thanos? Because if
maybe
so,
not
then
alone.
that really lowers the risk of Endgame. And
I mean, Feige said it. I mean, publicly.
She is, but you also have to think that Endgame is an ensemble. So she's not going to be able to take over all of it.
She may not be strong enough alone, but
Exactly.
in a group
Yeah.
she may be.
She
Yeah.
shouldn't
She's
be
just
able
the
to
missing piece.
come in and just raid on everyone.
So
She could if she wanted
my
to.
question though is, do you think
Not
that?
yet.
No.
Not yet.
Yeah.
So one of my things about the movie that I struggled with a little bit, and it's not even really necessarily an issue, but just something that I thought about as I was watching it. Because while we're all in this room nerdy enough to kind of accept the fact that the Kree accepted a lot of people, a lot of different things, did anybody notice that, like, Ronan, up until this point, the Kree have been blue. Even in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they were blue. Well, then we had humanoid Kree in the movie. Do you think
Skrulls?
No. Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Marvel. Those
Yeah.
people. Do you, am I just being too narrow-minded about it?
Dijuan's character was also in Guardians.
Oh, yes, it was. Yeah. I always thought for some reason, and I might be getting confused, I thought the blue was some sort of like a war paint, like a ritual type thing.
What do they
I know
call
the
them?
black
The
is.
Decimators or
The accusers.
The
the accusers?
So
thank
maybe-
you.
But they're so on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're Kree, and they are also blue. So, I mean, I guess they could be accusers as well, but I don't know.
Yeah, but you also
I
have
was
a
just curious.
point because the other guy that was part of their team in Guardians, he's part of the accusers, and he's not blue. Maybe it's a different.
And he was
he came from a different part.
I mean, we saw him a long
Well,
time
The
ago.
I
England
guess
of
that's my
their-
point is, like, if the Kree are taking over planets, then when you take over a planet, you're basically absorbing that population.
That
They're
is
assimilating.
So maybe the Kree is not necessarily a race as much as it is a population of people. And I went into it thinking that the Kree were just like a Ronin. Like, I thought they all looked like Ronin, except for obviously the accuser wear.
That would be really awkward for Captain Marvel.
Well, but I mean, that's what I'm saying is that's where I was
Yeah.
confused.
No, I'm not dissing
and-
that. I was just thinking about us
and-
picturing them all blue but her.
Sure. Well, in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they had an opportunity to kind of not necessarily tell that story, but show a different side of the Kree. But the Kree that they had were blue.
That lady was blue that she fights that was on their team.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, on
And
their
then
team,
that guy that
Minerva?
looked like there was a guy that I kept thinking looked like the guy from Thor. The part of his Warriors
Thor?
3. Yeah, no. The one that was part of his Warriors 3. I can't remember his name, but not Zachary Levi and not Sif.
not Shazam.
No.
Yeah.
But the other guy, yes, like paint him blue and they're the same person.
Well, and I don't care that they're blue. That's
Yeah.
what,
Just
to
get them.
me.
Yeah.
So there were
To me, that
some
was a
blue
missed
people.
opportunity
That's
to
true.
explain. Because if you're not a hardcore Captain Marvel comic fan, you may not necessarily recognize that the Kree
That's
might
true.
be a mixture of people.
Hadn't even thought
Kind
of
of
that.
like the United States and the Earth versus
Yeah.
a specific alien type of a thing. Like it would be hard for me to believe that Groot's people or whatever they look different than Groot. You see what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't see Rocket being in the Groot realm of people. I guess I don't
Ain't
know.
no one like Rocket but Rocket.
Right. But you know what
He
I'm
was
saying.
genetic.
Yeah, I
so,
know.
He was built.
So anyway,
I just
that's
wanted
just
to
a
make
thought. But I mean, I that was the only part that I felt like they really
God.
missed out on.
Kate tells us.
Okay, fill me in.
So
Kate.
there are blue and white skin Kree. The original blue, pureblood Kree were blue skin. There we go.
And that
Okay.
explains why Ronan would be an extremist then.
Exactly,
Yeah,
because
'cause
he's
he's
pure blood.
pureblood.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I thought it was
Like Harry Potter.
did anybody think it was interesting that she got a little bit more depth on the fact that Ronan was part of the accusers, that he wasn't just Ronan the accuser.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's titled in
Yeah.
Guardians. I just thought that was interesting. It was
It
very,
makes
It's
me
very like in
he
Guardians.
doesn't have the black.
It's like he's not yet gone.
I'm hoping
full
yeah.
He hasn't gone
hoping
full extremist.
Captain Marvel
Yeah.
2 maybe is going to be about that. Because he says we'll come back for the weapon or the woman. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it
they
would be.
definitely set
Yeah.
up the story
Hoping,
line
yeah.
there.
And at that point, I can almost think that if he's as extreme as we've seen him be, that we'll see a darker side of Ronan.
And maybe that's why he just turns into Ronan the Accuser instead.
And that might be why he was trying to get an Infinity Stone after he loses maybe again.
Yeah, because
then he already knows about Captain Marvel.
in Captain, so obviously Captain Marvel 2 won't happen on Earth, because if it's in between, if it's between Captain Marvel and Guardians,
Yeah, it couldn't be on
it
Earth.
can't be on Earth. So
I don't think it could be.
It can't be. So at that point, it gives Marvel the opportunity to introduce even another world, or is there? I assume there's a Kree homeworld.
That was it,
like-
right? Hala?
Hollow
Yeah,
or whatever.
Hollow
Yeah,
was-
like you spend
yeah.
more time there. You could do a lot of different things. His story, I think, would be very interesting in terms of what he's already pretty extremist, like even in Captain Marvel, but not yet. But at some point, he's in with Loki, Thanos, like he's all of that.
He
so-
takes a huge shift by the time we get to Guardians 1.
yeah,
You
and
know.
that
So there's
might
something else there.
that might be Captain Marvel too. She might just wipe the floor with him, and he might just lose his.
Well,
everybody
and
mind.
if she destroys the Kree, you know what I mean? Because doesn't he say in Guardians that that's something that like he care like the Kree have been decimated? Like, isn't he some of the last Kree? Or am I just making that up?
I think maybe there was a fall. I don't think he's the last, but maybe their stature isn't as high up.
Okay. Like
And
maybe if
he
you're an
wants
accuser and you
them.
fail twice, you're no longer an accuser. You're
Or
the
it could-
Or
accuser.
like the whole status of like if America was suddenly not. Well, I
America,
say we're
yeah.
number one because I'm American, but you know,
Yeah,
like we've lost that.
we weren't a superpower anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
Gotcha. Okay.
there was in I mean, for all my issues with the movie, I still enjoyed it. It's still a good entry into the Marvel universe. It's an awesome character. Like there was a lot of people going in that were very concerned that some discussions were had about how much like feminism, girl power is going to be put in that movie.
What?
Oh yeah, there were people who
Oh
were
my
talking
goodness!
that it
a
was
female-led superhero
No, no,
movie
no,
would
but-
might have some feminism.
no talking about
Girl
it
power?
would be
That's crazy.
an over the top
Pockets, Hannah.
beat over your head
That wasn't me.
that type
yelling
of
at
it,
you.
yeah. Like it would be an over the top me, and I'm not going to tell you which. There are people.
Oh, I know.
Oh, you know which people. That it would be an over the top, super political, all of those things. And while those tones were there, they were not that. Like it was a very, if you want to use the word empower, whatever you want to call it, like. All those people talking about, because you saw a lot of that in some of those troll reviews and stuff like that. Oh, this is just feminist propaganda.
So
like
what
that's
you're
the biggest
saying-
load of crap.
Can I
Now,
just-
So
some of
what
the-
you're saying is people are afraid of a comic book attached movie that's going to question how they view the world.
Yes.
Let's think about that for a
Heaven
second.
forbid.
that
Because
might be a
every
woman
comic
that's
book
super
you've ever
powerful.
picked up, every comic book you've ever picked up has addressed some issue
Exactly.
in a light
That's
that
what
might
This-
question the light of society. I just don't get that. I don't get
This
it.
is what I have to say to all those people. Like, if they don't like Captain Marvel, first of all, the numbers have spoken. So,
So pipe
nothing
down.
to prove. I've been saying that constantly about everything. But you can go back to your Marthas
Martha.
and your Uncle Ben
Why'd you say that name?
and basically every other movie, superhero movie, besides Wonder Woman, and I'll even include Black Widow for when it comes out, that has everything else that you need. You don't need Captain Marvel. If you don't want to question anything or have
Yeah.
your viewpoints or feel like you might be less than for some reason,
Yeah.
then just you have everything else. So don't worry about it. You're still on top, basically is what I'm saying.
But the people that are offended by that,
Are dumb. Sorry
Yes.
if any of our viewers are offended.
but
Didn't mean to call you dumb.
they're not going to be okay with, well, I'm just going to go back to, no, they're the type of person that if it is in existence and it is opposite with what they think, they're going to be offended. They won't be able to think
Yeah.
straight until, well, they'll never be able to think straight, but they won't be able to not be offended by it if it exists.
I'm okay if Captain Marvel just
Yeah.
drives someone absolutely crazy because they are so different in their thinking. That's the nicest way I can say that.
Well, and I think...
But I will also say there was some of that same stuff with Wonder Woman before it came out, too. Like,
and I don't get that either, though.
No.
I mean,
There is.
my thing is this.
And there was some of that with Black Panther, too.
there'll be some of it.
There was a lot of it with Black Panther.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think...
Notice what these movies are doing, too.
But again, that's what
Blowing
comic
up the
books
box
do.
office.
That's what comic books do.
Exactly.
They take on issues that people cannot rationally have a discussion about, and they put it in a way that people get it.
No, they don't. Shut up.
But at the end of the day, like, I don't know. I don't see the dilemma. And even if, I mean, granted, I don't want to go see any movie of any kind that all it is a political movie, unless that's why I'm going to go see it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
if I'm
it's a
going to go
movie
see it
about
to
politics.
enjoy it, I don't want to get hit in the face with everything. But I also don't understand complaining about it and saying that's going to be a crap movie because it's a feminine lead character and it's going to be all this girl power. Who cares?
Yeah.
Captain Marvel is supposed to be about girl power. She's a girl. I'm
With
sorry,
power.
that's just what it is. And maybe she's not gung ho like girl power of like what you might stereotypically think is girl power, but she is helping
doesn't
young
need
ladies
that.
see that you can
Like-
be a superhero. She's helping girls that might not be connecting with anything else in the world understand that there's somebody out there in a comic book or in
Yeah.
a movie that they can look up to.
That the overarching theme in Captain Marvel was been knock down, get up, knock down, get up,
Yeah.
and they played that in the trailer and in the movie multiple
And I
times.
thought it was played very well.
Yeah, absolutely.
However,
And
I'm
that's not a
not really
message just
certain
for
how
women.
she survived that fall off that rope. 'cause
I don't
I'm
know
pretty
either.
sure
Yeah,
she
that
has
was
to be
really
alien.
high up.
Because
her
she's
mom's a
part Kree.
Kree.
Part
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
I was
She's-
wondering
yeah.
that now
But
until
how-
him
yeah.
said it.
But how does you go through a physical before you join the military? How does that not come up?
They just think you're tough.
Like, you've got some DNA
Maybe
that
they
looks
just
a little
wanted
weird.
her to fail.
Well, they
Maybe
don't
they're
do a
like, let's see
DNA
what
sequence.
happens here.
They don't
I think-
DNA you.
They,
They
just
do
go,
blood
you want
work."
to join? Go
maybe.
for it. Go
Yeah.
for it.
Maybe
We
they
can-
they don't know aliens exist at that point,
That's true.
so they don't have the right tests.
Yeah, but even to this, it's kind of on the same line of thinking. Like there's been significant backlash in the new Avengers trailer because at the end, when you see Captain Marvel and the hammer/axe whatever fly over her shoulder, she's wearing makeup, she's wearing lipstick, things like that, and people are like, she doesn't need it. Like now they've gone to the other side, and now people are complaining about that
But let's look at the
Maybe
context.
they just-
because it is anti
Right.
everything they set
No.
up in Captain Marvel.
But let's
But
look at
what
it.
if she just felt like wearing makeup? I think
true.
that's the whole thing. I don't see
Well-
how not wearing makeup means equals feminist or whatever. This is what I would think it would be: is if a woman wants to wear makeup, awesome, she wears makeup. If she doesn't feel like wearing makeup, she doesn't. Like, it's her choice.
It's
Yeah.
just, it's so funny to me that, like, stuff like feminism, where I feel like this group of people, maybe church not, but we're pretty open-minded about a lot of things. And
Seriously?
it was a joke. I just thought you were going to say something smart, so I thought I'd just cancel that out right away. But, no, it was totally a joke. But, you know,
Oh,
it just amazes me that, like, this is an issue. Like, we've gone from this movie's gonna suck to now she's wearing makeup. Oh my gosh, she's wearing makeup. Who cares?
Exactly.
Like, she
That's
is a
my point.
woman superhero. Let her be her.
And the thing, it boils down to this: people will complain about anything.
The only thing that I could legitimately see this being a problem with, I don't have a problem if they want to put a feminist message. I don't have
Yeah.
a problem if they want to put girl power. They damn well should. It's Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
The only way I would ever see a movie like this where I would get tired of that is if it alters a storyline and starts to feel artificial and doesn't feel genuine to the comic. If they're trying to use it for
like a message.
a message, and
Yeah.
it just goes overboard, and you lose plot because of that. You
Yeah.
lose
the
what
message
would be
becomes more
organic.
important than the story.
Yeah,
So
I haven't seen that in any of these movies. In fact,
they're pretty.
they have been so good because
Yeah.
It's almost subtle.
the opportunity
It's fair,
is
yeah.
there to do that.
Yeah.
And
Big-
no one has done that.
Yeah.
They've done it in such a pure fashion.
Yep.
That
Because another one, kind of going back to what you said, that they kept reiterating was she needed to stay in control of her emotions, that her emotions were bad. And I'm so happy I get to say this. from a woman's point of view. From a woman's perspective.
Bleep bloop.
You get told that a lot in certain ways. You're too sensitive, you're too emotional, it's considered a weakness, etc. And so for her at the end to be able, like, it's the emotion is kind of what fuels her into wanting to save and wanting to do that. So it's not a weakness. She turned it into a strength.
But don't you think that was the point in saying that over and over in the movie?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, that's what I'm getting at is another theme. And
because that's how I took it.
One of the reasons that I liked it was as someone who gets told quite frequently, she's too emotional, she needs to calm down.
Well, because you keep trying to stab people. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's just being violent.
How many knives do you have on you right now?
I don't think that's a woman thing. I think that's a ham thing.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. I think what I'm saying is,
if I didn't have
incidentally, you're a woman who stabs people a lot.
if I didn't feel
and
like
that's a problem.
I had to defend myself constantly against the patriarchy,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to carry all these
I am
knives.
not the patriarchy.
the pocket
But you
patriarchy.
constantly
You're a man,
try to stab
so you're
me.
part of it. You're
I
part
am
of
not-
the problem.
I am
he
not
just
part of
told
that.
you you're part of the problem.
Well,
That's Nick's judgment.
Just playing world. Phil is not.
Nick
part
is the
of
one that disagrees with you the most, so shouldn't you be stabbing him? I mean, I'm always on your side. Does that make
I
sense?
disagree with it. What do
Yeah,
I disagree
always
with you
on my
about?
it. You didn't disagree.
Earlier, I knew she was shaking her head.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That was not a
Don't encourage somebody to stab me. That's not a friendship.
Especially not on video.
Yeah.
That's motive. That's evidence.
I'm not saying
So-
you should stab Nick. I'm
I'm
saying
just
shouldn't you be stabbing him instead of me,
saying.
though?
Saying he would
If
This
I'm
is
understand if
just
he did.
self-defense.
to stab anyone. No one will see it.
Besides,
coming until
I've
the
already
knife is
taken
in you.
about, like, probably around 4 to 5 stabbings from her at this point.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
You're due.
He hit me
You're
the
on
other day
deck.
with a shirt.
So I think
Right in the face.
Right in the
I think
face.
Captain Marvel though
You didn't even notice at first.
one of the most interesting parts about Captain Marvel to me that has come out after the movie
Yeah.
is all the tie-ins. So when we talk about like the Stan Lee side of things, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
the
We
internet's
don't-
kind of
we don't have enough time to talk about that.
the internet's kind of confused me on some of it, but in general, how cool was it to see him reading Mallrats' script in a
Where he
movie
plays
where he's
himself.
going to play
Yeah.
himself?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kevin
and
Smith
so
tweeted that he
yeah,
bawled like a baby.
yeah. Well, he has a
Did he-
picture of himself crying.
Did
Yeah.
he know it was coming?
I don't think so.
know.
I don't think he
so.
knew.
I think it was a surprise.
So good.
Yeah, I think it was a surprise. But if
That's
I'm not
so
mistaken,
good.
that was his first cameo, correct?
That would have been.
That would have been his first cameo in a
That was
movie
90s.
as Stan Lee. But the internet
Only
part
we
of
had
it
a
is
device that told us.
something that's pretty interesting because it's like
Yeah.
if Stan Lee wrote Captain Marvel, what is Stan Lee famous for in Captain Marvel? Why would he be rehearsing a movie? Why would that be a thing? It's
Yeah.
just very
It's
interesting.
a paradox.
It
Did I just hear
is.
a
It
noise
is.
from downstairs?
But there was also they were also saying that Mallrats
The Flerken is loose.
Mallrats exists in Captain Marvel's universe, which
Yes.
exists in the larger
MCU.
Marvel MCU,
And
which is so
since
cool.
His movies are all connected. That means that all of Kevin Smith's movies, well, most of them,
Which
like
means
Jay and Silent
means
Bob,
Dogma is in the
Dogma
MCU.
is
Yeah.
in-
Yep.
It means,
Which means
Iron
Man can fight a poop monster.
Which means Matt
can fight a
Damon has
Golgotha.
been in a Marvel movie.
Yes.
There you go.
So it's
But
in
I-
He's been in-
really-
he was in
Dogma.
Ragnarok
He was in
Yeah,
Ragnarok.
that too. Yeah.
That's true.
So,
and Chasing Amy.
you know, I really enjoyed Captain Marvel. I thought it
Briefly.
was good. The thing that I didn't like the most, though, out of it, truthfully, was the Skrulls. I thought they just looked cheesy. I don't know. I struggled with the makeup of them. You know. And,
Sometimes it looked like, depending on the angle, that they only had one ear.
right. Well, and just the makeup to me was not very. I don't know how you create that structure, so I'm criticizing something I have no knowledge of, but it just didn't appeal to me.
I
Is-
did like their storyline. That was a good twist.
Yes,
Is
I
no
agree.
one but me
I
having
agree.
a problem with the Skrulls being good guys?
Oh, it
It is-
feels completely foreign to me
it does.
because they've been set up for so long as the bad guy. So like that twist, like that's kind of part of it. Like what?
But
Like
I think
yeah.
they're in flux, kind of like probably with the Krees. Sometimes they're bad, sometimes like, because he even alluded, he said, I've done a lot of bad things in War II.
But they're
Yeah.
always bad. They're
But you know what,
always
though?
so
History
bad,
is
it's
written
black
by
and white. They're-
by the winner.
Yeah,
They're
so,
pure.
history is written by the winners.
I
They were
know.
bad until she saw their side of things.
Yeah, but you know what, though? On the flip side of any war, the other side always thinks the other person's bad. So
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
But
there's
as
that.
presented by Marvel, they have always been bad.
I agree that
There
I
are
agree.
some few scrolls that are good. Because even during Civil War, there were, or not Civil War, the Secret War, there were a few of them that had been on Earth for so long that
They realized cheeseburgers were awesome, and
they
were like
really,
totally
they
on
had
with it.
Royales
they had
with
whole
cheese.
lives and whole families and or
You know what they call a quarter
relationships.
pounder in
And they
England?
didn't want to be a part of.
Yeah.
They wanted to be on Earth's
Called
side
a
of things. So there
Royale
were a
cheese.
few outliers.
Were they good, or were they just
No, there were-
deciding that if we're evil, the Avengers are going to kill us?
No, there was
Because that happens a lot in the comics as well.
No, there
They
were
die
Hey,
a
like
we'll help you. You're not going to kill us, right? Oh,
One
only
or
if we don't
two
help you?
that
We'll help
did
you.
fight on their side.
Well, did anybody catch the Pulp Fiction references?
I kept thinking of Pulp Fiction every
So
time I
as
saw
they're in the
him.
car, that's a Pulp Fiction scene. It matches up exactly with Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta when they're talking about a Royale with cheese, and then the drink that the scroll is drinking matches up exactly with Samuel L. Jackson's
I was
cup
wondering
that he was
about
using.
that.
Nice.
Yeah,
Stan
I
Lee's
wonder if
first,
they had a big Kahuna burger in MCU.
Stan Lee's first cameo was in the TV movie The Trial of the Incredible Hulk in 1989.
Was he
Yeah, I
Stan
thought
Lee
jury
though?
foreman.
It was Stanley. Yeah.
But I mean, he was Stan Lee in the movie. Or
He
in
played
the
the
show?
jury foreman.
So, okay, so
No,
he, was,
So it could have been
It wasn't
Stan
a
Lee.
But he
cameo.
played. But here's
Gotcha.
the thing: he played himself in Iron Man. No, Fantastic Four, in the wedding of Sue Storm and Reed Richards.
but Mallrats was before that.
Yes.
Mallrats
was
was way before that.
95.
Yeah. That was like 2000.
Mallrats was in '90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark's
So
before
that's what I was meaning. Is
Yeah.
like was it the first cameo that like he was Stan Lee in Stan Lee as Stan Lee
Yeah.
and versus I don't know.
Technically, we never know his name in most of these cameos. So-
Fantastic Four, you do because it's a hey, I'm Stan Lee.
Yeah,
And Mallrats.
Yeah.
yeah, Mallrats
yeah,
you
that's
definitely
right.
do.
Yeah. So
I don't know. It's just interesting.
from a movie standpoint, I mean, it's one of those I want to go see again. Yeah, the scroll thing was a little bit different. It fills in a lot of gaps in terms of it almost works as a setup to the first like two Avengers, like to the
Yeah.
Nick Fury cameo in Iron Man. It's like, hey, I'm putting a team
he figures
together.
out there's Avengers.
Exactly.
There's aliens and these superpowered things.
Exactly, and so there's a lot of pieces to that movie to unpack, and like I said, it's a good. I'll call it it's a good movie. Like it's one that I will continue to watch over the years. It's not like I've seen of all the movies. Like I've seen Thor: Dark World one time, like when it came out. I haven't gone back and watched it. Captain Marvel's one I will go back and watch.
Dark World is a better movie than we thought it was. I watched it recently.
Really?
I had the opinion before I watched
Okay.
it, and I was like, "This is better than I've
The parts
thought."
between him and Loki were good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Oh man, that little walk down the hallway with him and Loki, fantastic.
But-
So good, especially now.
Did you catch who the little girl was?
And
Monica Rambeau in Captain Marvel?
You talking about her co-pilot or the
The
daughter? No, I didn't get who the daughter was.
She is, in the comics, she's obviously older because she's one of the first Captain Marvels. She's before Carol. I don't know how
Okay.
far. She was the first female, I think, maybe Captain Marvel.
Okay.
So then when she says, maybe I'll go up to space to meet her. I'm like,
Was she
okay.
right after Marvel
I think so.
or Marvel?
Now
Yeah.
is it?
Because Marvel sounds better.
And she does later on
Yeah.
use, before the Captain Marvel mantle or after or at some point, uses photon, which
I was
is a
gonna
call
say,
sign to the mom.
Yeah, I was saying because I thought the mom was referenced in the comics as
That's
Photon.
what I thought
Yeah.
too, and then I was like, no, because I thought her mom was named Monica. And
Oh,
I got
yeah.
the name switched. but
Gotcha.
it's a little girl.
So there's
So the only part of it that's a little confusing to me, and it's not really necessarily confusing, but how did the Tesseract get on Earth to begin with? Because
But
Captain
Thor
America,
explains that.
Thor
they
explains
hid
that.
them.
Yeah,
we
they-
don't know why they decided to hide them. I
Okay.
mean, maybe
Are you
just
talking
to
about
keep it
in the first
separated.
Captain America when
Yeah.
they bust in the church?
Yeah.
And Yeah.
It was
When
'cause
did Thor
when-
explain that? Which movie?
When they're busting into it, you see like a tree of life type thing,
Okay.
which is Thor as Guardians. And I don't know. I don't think it says when they brought him down. It's just they had at some point.
Well, because they have a fake one in the vault.
But
Yeah.
this is before that, and then
Because
Red
they
Skull
they
gets it.
scatter them
Yeah,
basically.
they scattered,
Gotcha.
and I'm
Okay.
I'm assuming it was just to try to keep them away. So if
Right,
happens
because
to
you don't have them all
happen,
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
It makes a much smaller MCU if they're all in one place.
Red Skull gets
New
it,
York.
First
and
movie.
then
Yeah.
it goes down with Captain America, and Howard Stark finds it, and because that's what he was trying to use for what eventually becomes the arc reactor, tiny one.
Mhm.
And so how it gets from Howard to her, I don't know. But Pegasus.
It's just
is-
been bounced around a lot.
Yeah.
Is all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Pegasus has
She
been linked
headed.
to
I read an
S.H.I.E.L.D..
article.
Yeah.
She heads up. Pegasus was started by Howard,
Okay. There you
so
go.
she
At some
heads
point.
it up after
I
him
figured
and
he at
obtains
some
it.
point
Yeah.
either gave it to her or she found it from him.
And most likely she came to Earth too, because she knew that's where it was, and it had possibly been unearthed. And
Yeah.
but okay,
It's
I'll
just
use
interesting.
It gets around.
it. Right?
Yep. It's like a Flerken.
Tesseract
I mean,
have some standards.
Yeah, that's the funny part too is the Flerken I think has been the everyone was excited about the cat going into it, but nobody had any idea. Now that the movie's out, like Goose is
Oh, I
We called it.
Yeah.
knew it
Oh.
was something.
yeah.
I mean, not about the exactly.
You
the
figured
joke,
it was some
But we
yeah.
made jokes. I don't know if we made it at the same time or not. We were like, "Is
But-
that how he loses the eye?"
Yes.
Yeah.
When they first showed
When he
the
first showed the
trailer where he
trailer.
was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, who's a good kitty?" and she was like, "Nick, come on."
Or like, is that
I made
how
a
it
joke
happens?
immediately because
Yeah.
I watched it with Chanther and was like, "What if the cat just went?" And that's how he lost his.
Yeah. And the story is never told again.
And I
Yeah,
think we said it on the podcast.
Would you tell
at
the
one
story?
point.
Because
Yeah.
then later on, cause
I
I've
got hit by a
seen-
Flerken. That's what I would say.
Since then,
That
is
looks like a cat.
when
Oh,
he
yeah, what-
says
oh,
something
yeah.
along the lines of the last time I trusted someone, I lost the eye. I lost my eye.
Something like along those lines. I mean, there's so much.
You haven't
Uh,
trusted anyone since
I
that?
assumed it was some sort of shape-shifting something. Like
I thought it was a scroll.
like it's that, and then it was funny. The guy in front of us in the movie is like, "Man, I kept mixing up Men in Black because of the
Yeah,
thing
it
around the
looked
neck."
just like
For
the
a
one.
second,
The world,
Looked
yeah.
like the galaxy.
yeah.
Well, I knew she had a cat in the comics, and I knew it was a Flerken. I didn't know it had the tentacle
Yeah,
thing.
but it wasn't. It's not Goose in the comics, right?
It's- they just renamed it. It's Chewie in the comics, and
Okay.
she is the last of her kind. Just so you know, because at some
Aw.
point in the comics, she is Danvers is with Guardians at some point, and Rocket knows it's a Flerken and wants to kill it. And then when he finds out that it is the last of its kind, he's like, "Oh, I can't kill you. I'm the last. I'm the only one of me, so I can't kill you."
Oh.
And he starts riding the Flerken.
Do you think
Like
it's
a
just
horse.
interesting though that like we are all looking at it, and so is Samuel L. Jackson. Is it's a cat?
Yeah,
But the scroll was like, no, it's a Flerken.
yeah,
Right.
And we're like, what? How do you tell?
yeah.
And I think that happens a lot for, other space people.
I think they-
because in the
Sorry, go ahead.
in the comics, Carol doesn't know yet. She thinks it's just a cat until Rocket says, "No, that's Flerken," and it was kind of the same reaction. And then it tried to attack him or something, and she was like, "Oh, it's a Flerken."
Who's winning? Oh, missed it here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
She would.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
So yeah, it is. It's a. At this point, give Goose a. I mean, Goose is obviously a Top Gun reference, clearly. But I mean, give it a spin-off animated show, like The Adventures of Goose or something.
I could just take a webisode every now and then.
Yeah, that's
of
true.
Goose.
Yeah,
Like what we got right at the end that we totally called.
yeah. Oh yeah, that was great. The hairball at the end.
I was just debating on if it was going to be the Tesseract or if it was going to be one of the guys.
Oh yeah, that's what I was
But,
waiting
yeah.
on. Like I just figured, like it's not really going to be just like a head. It's going to be something like. But overall, like I said, it's a great movie. We're going to continue to talk about it, especially as we run up to Infinity or Endgame, because Endgame is a whopping month and 10 days away. 45, 40 days or so. Tickets are still not on sale. I've been checking like every hour for the past week because I figured they dropped the trailer. Tickets are imminent.
They went up like just a couple hours ago.
No, they didn't because I'm
Yeah.
already on Regal's website. So,
Oh.
Nice try there. But it is I'll be curious to see, everyone's thing going into Infinity War is like, how do you give that many characters ample screen time to tell a story, things like that. If Endgame is truly 3 hours, and that's what we're hearing, then you have a lot of time to use a lot of those characters.
I'm also really excited because in the comics, Captain America is who... he doesn't give Captain Marvel her name, but he kind of like pushes her in that direction.
Okay.
In the movies, you never hear her called Captain Marvel. So I'm hoping that we'll get that.
Okay, yeah. And then Zach Levi makes a cameo. I was like...
Oh,
But
wrong movie. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. And there's your DC Marvel crossover. Like I said, it was a good movie. It was enjoyable. It sets up so much, and it fills in a lot of cool. It's not stuff that we needed, like in terms of like Samuel L. Jackson and kind of like a backstory in the Avengers and stuff like that. Like it doesn't give you information you need, but it enriches the universe a lot, and so that certainly is something that I think is one of the other than the Captain Marvel story. Like it enriches the universe so much that's what makes it that makes it good. But I almost like give me like another half hour
I would be okay with that
of stuff, because it's almost like I said, for me it almost feels like two movies. It's what's happening with Captain Marvel and there's everything else, and they felt disconnected to me. But like you said, it is a running up into the end of Phase 3. We're 45 days from something that started so long ago. I am excited. I'm going to try and run through. Now, I won't run through all of them, but I think I'm going to run through. I might give Dark World another shot.
We did that at one point.
It was better.
Okay.
But now there's so many, I don't think I could do it in a weekend.
Yeah. I don't think it's physically possible without sleep.
You could do it. Yeah.
Can you do all of it in a weekend?
Oh, in a weekend? No,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I missed
when
that.
we ran through
No.
it was small enough we could do it in a weekend.
Yeah,
It was
because
like-
We're about halfway through it right now.
Running up to Civil War, I think maybe is when we did it.
We've got
you would need
Winter Soldier next.
if you don't sleep. Let's say it's an average of 2 hours. You've got about 48 hours to watch. So
just don't sleep. Yeah.
yeah, just don't sleep.
No big deal.
So if they do an Infinity War Endgame back to back, are we down? Are we game?
Yes.
Even if we have
Infinity
to,
War and Endgame.
yeah, back to back.
I might need it as a refresher.
When is it coming out?
April 25th, something like that.
I'm out.
26th.
I'll still be at work.
We may not be able to do it
There's
on
no
a
way.
weekday, but yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is
if
the
they-
only
if they
day
were
it
to
would
do
be
it
on.
like
Yeah.
if it was like
Well,
a
what they
weekend,
might do,
sure.
they might do like they'd have to do like a 5 or 5:30, and then or maybe even a 6, but then Endgame doesn't start until 9, and then we're not out till midnight and 1. So
What if we get together beforehand and watch it?
if we only had a place where many people could sit and watch a movie,
Yeah.
imagine that. We should do that. Viewing party 26th, Megan says. All right, so we never really answered Megan's question in terms of what they should watch. If they've only seen Captain Marvel. So let's go through this one more time for Megan before we go. I'm going to say first Avengers, first Ant-Man, probably, because most people don't know anything about Ant-Man. I'm trying to think of the characters most people don't know anything about. I'd say first Avengers. I would say
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, Black Panther. You get Black Panther in Civil War, so you really don't need that.
Yeah.
What is the minimum amount of movies though that
Well,
she's asking about?
Because she said she didn't have a lot of time.
Yeah, so let's go 5.
So like a Cliff Notes version.
Unfortunately, you have to go Ultron because of Scarlet Witch.
Mhm.
You have to put Ultron in
And
there.
Vision.
And Vision. So you've got to go Avengers,
Yep.
Ultron, Infinity War. So there's 3. And then you've got to fit in a couple.
Yeah, Civil War.
Civil War kind of sets up the Sokovia Accord, so you need Civil War.
And that does Spider-Man.
And you kind of need Black Panther. Because
If you do Civil War, you're at least introduced to Black Panther and
Yeah.
Spider-Man. And kind of Ant-Man.
Well, I just mean,
I mean, you already had Ant-Man, but
Well,
Yeah.
half of Infinity War takes place in Wakanda.
which is
Yeah.
why you kind of want to do.
You kinda
Black
wanna-
Panther.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so I'm
agree.
going to say Avengers.
And
All
you're
3
seeing-
Avengers movies, Black Panther.
Captain Marvel. Well,
And-
she's seen Captain
Yeah,
Marvel.
I would say those 4.
And you want to give yourself the
And
gift
Ragnarok.
that is watching.
You need Thor
Black
You need
Ragnarok.
Panther.
Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah. So I would say the Avengers movies,
Your eyes will
Ragnarok,
thank
And Guardians.
Black Panther, and Guardians 1. That's as low as we can get it down, I think.
And Guardians 1 at least lays out the different Infinity Stones.
That's
So
a
that
good.
at
That's a
least-
very excellent
That's
That
point.
at least
Absolutely.
explains
Good point.
the bigger overarching theme. That way you don't have to watch them all. Because if you watch them all, you would have an idea of some of the stones. But Guardians really breaks it all
Yeah,
apart.
that's an excellent point.
How
All right.
impressive is it,
And
by the
it
way, that they've
explains
created a
Thanos.
movie, a cinematic universe
Yeah.
where the bare minimum
Is
is
like
you got
6
to
or
watch
8.
these 6 movies.
Yeah. That is pretty amazing.
That's well done.
All right.
Feige and Co.
This has been a long one for us, but we will be back next week. Sans Nick, you
Yep,
are out.
I'm out.
Are we going to be graced by Shanther's presence next week? Perhaps, maybe.
I will work on her.
We will see what we can do. But this has been episode 118 of Gather the Nerds. Even Flerkens have pockets, dimensions. I'm Kev, that's Nick.
See you guys.
Church,
Be kind, guys.
Hannah.
Not evil.
See you guys. Bye.